Hi, everyone. Well, I'm going to repeat myself and I'm not going to apologize for it. I love doing this show. And the reason is because I get to connect with the most wonderful people. It is like magic. So that being said, I'm so anxious to welcome today's guest, Anida Tythole. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So now I know you do drag, right?
Yeah.
And is it okay if I share your other name?
Of course, yeah, definitely.
So it's Shane Stark, correct?
It is.
So tell me about when you started doing drag.
Oh man. I started drag 14 years ago, I think. I've lost track.
Okay.
And I just keep saying 10 years because I
Sounds good.
don't want to admit it. And I started in Vancouver. And yeah, it just kind of blew up. I never thought I'd be doing drag this long, and it's amazing. I love it.
It's so great. Now, I know a lot of people would have heard of RuPaul, and he kind of brought it to the, I don't know how to explain that now. He brought it out to the world more, so I guess you could say, right?
Yeah, brought it to a mainstream audience.
Yeah, which is really, really great. I'm pleased about that. I've seen him interviewed, and he said as a really intelligent person. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, connect with you, because you do shows for a reason.
Yeah.
Right? You're very involved with the youth community, the youth society. What is it? The Fraser Valley Youth Society?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so tell us about that, please.
So my parents are super religious. We're not accepting. So I don't want other kids to have to go through that. So my platform, I use it to raise money for the Fraser Valley Youth Society. It's an organization that supports LGBTQ2 plus and I, as well as allied youth here in the Fraser Valley. So they do drop-in programs in Chilliwack, Mission, and Abbotsford.
That's so great. You know, one of the things when you mentioned your parents, I remember thinking years and years ago that I want to make sure that I'm accepting of because a child that could be different in any way, shape, or form could be my child.
Totally.
You know,
yeah.
Right? And I wanted to make sure that I was open to not only to them, but to anybody in the world who is considered different for whatever reason. Yeah. So I like what you're doing. I think it's great. And I would just wanted to tell parents, like, they're still your children. Like, seriously.
I agree. Yep.
Now you have, you and a friend produced, let's see, what is it?
Tucked and Loaded.
Tucked and Loaded.
Yeah.
The names are so precious. I love it. You do one of the biggest drag shows in the Valley, right?
I would argue that it is actually the biggest drag show in the Fraser Valley. Okay. We've done 4 shows this year, and we've sold out in 6 days for all those shows.
Marvelous.
And that's like 175 tickets in 6 days.
Oh my goodness, that's so great. Yeah. I've been to one drag show a couple of years ago here in Chilliwack, and it was so much fun.
Nice.
You know, I really did enjoyed it. You're artists.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I look at your I got to look away from the camera for a moment. Like, you know, I look at your makeup and your hair and all of this stuff, and it's like, well, I resent that. You do a better job than I do.
I get that a lot.
So it takes quite, do you make your own costumes? That's another thing, because I know some of them make their own costumes.
Okay, so I'm lazy. I do not. And now that I actually have, a show that's quite successful, yeah, I just pay designers to make my costumes. So I have a local designer here in Abbotsford named Evan. He does a lot of my costumes now. Right. But I've also bought from people in California. I get my costumes shipped from all over the place.
Nice. Yeah. That's so cool. I have a question to ask now. The word queer, like I grew up learning that was a negative word, but now I hear that people are calling themselves queer.
Yep.
Right. So that's obviously the term that is now okay to use.
Yeah, I believe what's going on with that is gay people are taking the word back. Similar to the AIDS epidemic, when you had like the pink triangle. I don't know if you know about the pink triangle. It was used during the Holocaust.
Okay.
So when gay people were captured during the Holocaust, they would actually have a pink triangle put on their uniform.
Oh.
So it like really outed the people. And
Right.
in the 80s, during the AIDS crisis, they started using it as a tool for acceptance. So they actually flipped the triangle and would put it on posters. Yeah. So I feel like it's a similar thing happening right now with the word.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Now you also have what is it? Radial dysplasia?
I do. So I was born with a physical disability called radial dysplasia. And I think that's another reason I never thought I'd be doing drag. I didn't think, there was space in an already kind of packed community.
Mm-hmm.
But I was wrong. Definitely, I can actually say that because I have been doing shows now 10 years and selling out venues and hosting so many shows. I actually have a gig on Sunday in Langley. So, yeah.
Oh, unfortunately, this won't air till next week.
That's all right.
Actually, maybe I will air it. I'll try to get it aired today.
All good. I think it's actually sold out anyways.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Well, that's good. I'm glad it's sold out, right?
Me too. That means I make more money.
Now, when you're on stage, like, what do you do?
So I would say I'm a comedian, but I do lip sync. I've tried to sing live. I don't know if that's a go, but I've tried. And I do host all the shows that I produce. So I like to say I'm a comedian. However, my sense of humor tends to be a little bit more on the vulgar side. So I would say definitely like PG-19 or 18.
That's cool. I like that. It's interesting because I used to do improv, and we were told all the time, you have to watch what you say. You don't know how the audience is going to accept things. And it's not easy trying to hold back from what you would normally do.
Yep.
Right. So it's nice that you have a venue where you can perform the way you want to perform.
Yeah.
So
I agree. And that part's really cool too, because I bring a lot of my friends from downtown.
Yeah.
So the show usually has like 6 performers.
Okay.
And no holds barred. They do what they want to do. And so you'll get like death drops and flips and cartwheels, and you'll get comedy and maybe a little bit of nudity. You never know with that show. Yeah. It's a pretty out there show, but it's fun.
Well, you're selling out, so obviously people are enjoying it.
I would like to think so too.
Well, that's the question I was thinking about. Why do people enjoy it so much?
I think there's quite a few reasons. It definitely pushes you out of your comfort zone.
Okay.
And I think people actually do enjoy that. There's also a sense of community because all my shows raise money for charities.
Right.
So you're not only having a great time with friends, but you're building community, you're strengthening community. And I think here in Abbotsford and the Bible Belt especially, I think it's needed more than many others.
Yeah. I'm not going to touch that one. When I went to the show, I went with 3 of my older sisters, and I was surprised. And one particular was surprised that she might have been uncomfortable, but she didn't let us know about it. And yeah. I'm glad that she didn't. I think it's important to, as you say, push your boundaries and get out there and do something totally. You wouldn't normally do. And it's all the fact that you're doing it as a charity. It's a nonprofit, right?
They are a nonprofit, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And also, you have a degree. You have a, let's see.
I do.
Talk about that a little bit.
So I've been doing drag the entire time while I've been, getting my degree in history. And I was just accepted into the Bachelor of Education at U of V. So I'm hoping to become a school teacher in the high school area. So yeah, I've been doing that, working full time, going to school full time. I bust my booty, but life is too short to just be stagnant. So I go for it.
Good for you. Well, congratulations. Yeah. I think that's awesome. Do you have siblings?
I do. I have a sister, and she's pretty accepting. She's come to many of my shows. So that's really cool too. Right. My parents haven't come to a show, but I'm okay with that, with the things I say on the microphone.
I think it's unfortunate, but like in my family, we have it all. We have someone who's transgender. We have a young man who is a queer. We have interracial marriages and stuff. And it's like, that should be the way the world is,
I agree.
Right?
Yeah. And I think that's part of the reason these shows are so successful.
Yeah.
Because it's a melting pot of everyone. My last show was really interesting because I had, oh gosh, a bunch of couples, straight couples, come to the show. And the guys, you could tell, were super uncomfortable. But by the end of it, they came up, they hugged me. They were like, this was amazing. And now they've been to all 4 shows.
Good.
They keep coming back because it's once you get over that little bit of uncomfortableness, it's so much fun, and just, you really do feel that community.
Yeah, that's it. It's about having fun and getting out there, right?
Exactly.
And allowing yourself to enjoy something. I think sometimes we're brought up to not accept certain things.
Totally.
Right, and it's unfortunate that that still continues in many, many families.
Yeah.
So what you do is bringing that out, and I know that for a lot of young people, like whether they're transgender or queer, young people commit suicide because they're not accepted, and maybe they're bullied or whatever. That's got to be a terrible place to live. Like here, I'm talking about, right?
I agree, and I think that's another reason these shows are so important. When you turn 19, you really do lose a lot of those like youth-focused programs.
Okay. Yeah.
So now where do you go? Unless you move to Vancouver, where there's a big community, you're kind of segregated. So this show really opens that up. I actually had a few people come to the show and they were thanking me. They profusely, like, they came up to me after the show and they were like, this is amazing. This is my first gay event ever. And they were almost in tears because they were so excited that it's here in the Fraser Valley.
Very good.
So that really warmed my heart to know, like, there's a place for everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. There is. There is. Like, I know people who do talk shows.
What?
Yeah, they congratulate me. I congratulate them. It's all good. I love that. Right. Have you ever seen that show, I Am Jazz?
No.
Well, Jazz is transgender, and it helped bring that to the forefront, having that show air. It's a reality show, of course, but bringing that to the forefront. And I think it was really interesting because Jazz was born with male genitalia, but from the time he was, or she was little, she always felt she should be a girl. And some people say it's like the parents did that to them, and it's not, but for a fact, that's not the way it is, right? I mean, some people, they don't understand it as children.
Yeah.
They feel like, why can't I wear a dress to school? Or why can't I always wear pants or whatever it is? And so I think it's important to get these topics out and as much as possible. I
agree. And there's quite a few people that identify as transgender that come to the shows here in the Valley.
Yeah.
So I really do believe that I think that's why it's so successful, is because there is a need and a desire for people to get out in a safe and inclusive space. Yes. And that's what we bring.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear it happens in Chilliwack here too.
Yeah, there's a show. I obviously don't produce that one, but there is a show in Chilliwack. There's also a show in Mission. Yeah, I started in Mission, so I know the performer out there. We have a nice little beef going on, her and I, so that's super fun.
Great.
Drag queens, they're catty.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So you have this fun competition, is that
exactly? Yeah.
Yeah. So now, when you're at work, or when you get your teaching degree, right? What are you interested in teaching?
So I hope to teach history. Okay. And I would love to do like queer history, but I do know that I have to focus on the certain material that they want me to teach, but I can definitely implement that into the culture or into the school system as well, because I am Indigenous. I'm a Ojibwe.
Okay.
heritage. So I would love to include more Indigenous histories, queer histories. I think those are kind of where my heart hits. So that's what I would love to teach.
Yeah, hopefully I hope you get to do that. That would be really wonderful.
Yeah.
So now I know you're performing tomorrow, but that'll be after this is aired. I mean, before this is aired. Oh,
Yeah.
whatever. I forget what I'm saying here. So what do you have going after that?
Oh man. So I really wanted to take a break over the summer.
Okay.
I don't like hot weather, especially when you're wearing a wig and a corset and hip pads, and I wear like 7 dance tights.
Oh,
So it's a warm hobby. And so I try and take summer off. However, that is definitely not happening this year. So I am booked for July 9th. I have the Pride Tucked and Loaded show here at the Matsqui Hall in Abbotsford.
okay.
Tickets are currently on sale. So you can get those if you search up Anida Tythole on Instagram or Facebook. It's always in my bio.
Okay.
As well, I am doing a week-long Pride event here for Fraser Valley Pride. So it starts off with the Tucked and Loaded show. I think there's going to be bingo. There's going to be drag queen story time, all sorts of cool events. And then there is the actual Pride event on July 16th at Jubilee Park, I believe it's called, here in Abbotsford.
Okay.
I'm also booked to do a show with Scarlett Bobo from Canada's Drag Race Season 1 here at the Agra Fair in Abbotsford.
Okay.
I think I'll be working with Camelto as well in that show, so that'll be really exciting. Great queens. Yeah, I'm booked and blessed.
Booked and blessed. Well, so much for your summer off, right?
Yeah, I know. I agree.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, probably not, but let's hope.
Because I imagine, like, if you're on stage, you know, even without all of the wig and the makeup, you can get on anyway. Just the energy of putting yourself out there, right? So you add all that to it, it's going to be twice as bad.
Oh, it's a hot hobby. I sweat, but
so hope you don't have running that, what is it, the mascara that people have, you see them.
Oh no.
I'm thinking, why don't they buy different stuff?
Oh man, so stage makeup, because that's what we use, is really expensive.
Oh.
But it is waterproof and sweat proof and all of those things. And then you take hairspray and you spray your face with it.
No.
I'm giving you a drag queen tip right now. And that makes your face water repellent.
Oh my goodness.
So when you sweat, it just kind of runs right off.
Oh, right.
I know the struggles of being a queen or a dude in a dress.
I love it all. It's so wonderful. Well, I'm not sure what else I have. If I've missed something, I hope I haven't. Now, you talked about your not knowing you would ever be on stage. That wasn't even a thought probably at one point, right?
It really wasn't.
And then here you are, and you sell out your shows, and you have so much going on, and it's just so wonderful. I was told you are considered the queen of Fraser Valley too.
I am. That is my title. I am Queen of the Fraser Valley. And I hold that to a great standard, I think. It's actually a self-proclaimed title that has now just stuck. And because I literally do shows here all the time,
right?
I can't even disagree with the self-proclaimed title anymore.
Hey, listen, I've given myself a title. I consider myself the shortest giant.
I love it. Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Oh my God, this has been so much fun. Well, I thank you. Thanks so much for taking the time out. I know you had to, put on all your makeup and your wig so we could see that. I appreciate that so much. Just hold on while I say goodbye to the audience. To everybody, thank you so much for watching this show. And, this is for me. I do this because I want to know the people to be accepting of other people. What another person does in their life doesn't affect you negatively. If somebody's on stage performing for somebody and entertaining somebody, it doesn't matter that they're a drag queen. They're doing something that is fun and entertaining. It doesn't hurt you. It might make you happy to go and watch. So
I agree.
Yeah. So with that being said, everybody, peace out.
a sense of community. Chilliwack's a place to be, a sense of community when you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see.